My seat just broke. So, as you know, I do normally scripted content. I always use a teleprompter. And like, that sucks, because I'm not good at scripting. So I want to try a different format of like vlogging. It feels more genuine. So in this video, I'm going to sew something. That might seem like a big surprise to everyone watching, because all my content on my channel now is like movie content. I've just been watching YouTubers who are vlogging, like Evan Monsumar. He makes stuff out of scrap wood and it's just very vloggy. There's also a ton of sewing people that I've been watching, like Carly B. She's making her own wedding dress because she's getting married in a couple months. And yeah, just a heap of vlogging people. And I'm like, if I'm consuming this content, I want to make it. Because that's essentially what I did with film content, right? I would like watch video essays all the time and I wanted to make video essays myself. Anyway, all that to say is, I'm gonna make a shirt. And I've made dress shirts. I made a color blocked corduroy one, which was very expensive because I bought all the corduroy from Spotlight, which I wouldn't do again because that's expensive. Then I found this like white linen and I made a shirt out of that, and then I dyed it green, which is a very cool shirt now. And that was a lot better because the material was probably only $3, which I think it was like a tablecloth or something. So I want to make another shirt out of this fabric, which I found at an op shop. It's just a really cool design. There's plenty of it because I think it was a queen or a king bed sheet, so there's more than enough material for a shirt. So I guess the next step is to cut out the pattern. And I'm going to do some voiceover over this time lapse. I find when making shirts or anything really, there's 3 main steps. The first step is finding a pattern that you like. For me, there's not many options because I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5" and I'm overweight. So it's hard to find patterns in my size that actually fit me, that are comfortable. And the one I did find on Etsy was by Bunu Patterns, I believe. I have it linked in the description. All you do is print off A4 sheets of paper, stick it all together, and then cut out the pattern pieces. Luckily enough, since I've made this shirt before, that step is done. Now the current step I'm on right now is cutting out the fabric pieces. And for this, I've used a rotary cutter before, which is nicer for getting really nice straight lines, but this time I just used like good old fabric scissors. Like, some of the edges of the pattern aren't like perfectly straight, but like, you're gonna be sewing in a straight line. It really doesn't matter. Like, that'll be lost in the seam allowance. And then the final step obviously is the actual sewing part, putting it together and making sure it fits, which is the part I'm up to right now. I also wanted to point out I made these pattern weights. It was just made out of scrap material that I had. I put rice in them. These are like lifesavers. Before this, I was using random candles that I had around the house. They were almost too heavy and too cumbersome, but these are like the perfect weight to keep the fabric and the pattern down. The last clip you would have saw before this was me at the sewing machine, and it was a dog shit shot. There's like 30 minutes of footage from that angle of my hand blocking like the actual needle of the sewing machine. Any current project I'm on, I put it in as this little box, just so it's separate from everything else. And now, where did I get up to? Right. Yes, this much has been constructed. Basically, we have the big back body piece, and the sleeves are on. Next steps is to finish that last sort of body stitch going all the way down here. I already have it clipped, like, I don't know why I didn't do it months ago, but anyway. And then after that is the part that I fear the most in making dress shirts, is the collar. They suck. So it turns out none of the audio got recorded for this section, and I actually was talking a lot, but anyway, I'm cutting out the interfacing here, and then it's iron-on interfacing, so I'm ironing onto the collar. Doing this is useful to keep the collar stiff, so it sort of stays in place like every other dress shirt does. And the next part, I am clipping the 2 top collar parts together, and there they are being sewn together at a 1.5 meter seam allowance, which is way too much. And here is some of the audio that did survive. My seat just broke. Lucky I have another one. Edge stitching around the collar. Edging. Wonderful commentary, Kane. I love that was the only part that got saved. Now I'm adding the bottom collar onto this. Alright, and then we're sewing that bottom collar to the top collar part. Just good sides facing, making sure it's all lined up. And then more edge stitching, hee. And then we're gonna jump right back into the commentary because the audio started working again. Yippee. I hate doing the collar so much. I've constructed it enough. Here it is. Ta-da! It just bunched up. Ooh. It just bunched up a little there. Look, I'm just wearing it, so I don't really care. Woo! We're gonna put it on to the actual collar of the shirt now. So here I'm just pegging it. Wrong word, Kane. Here I'm just clipping it to the shirt. And off camera, I sew it alone because my camera battery ran out. Anyway, I literally say this in the next scene. Take it away, Kane. My camera's gonna die, so I'm just going to attach the collar to the shirt and I'll see you on the next bit. Alrighty, I'm outside now. Up to the point with the shirt where I'm sewing on the buttons, which is one of the most peaceful moments of making a shirt, I feel. Because with sewing, I feel like you really have to be in it. Your hands are busy and everything. Like, it takes more mental energy, I believe. At this point, it's a lot more chill. So, without further ado, I'm going to sew on some buttons. The buttons are finished. I chose these little cream ones, and I think they go the best. And also, I realized, I don't think I talked about this, I hemmed the sleeves, and I hemmed the bottom of it. So literally, the last step I need to do is to do the buttonholes. I have a buttonhole foot on my sewing machine. That was my mother's sewing machine. And it's not working. I've checked the manual of my sewing machine and everything, and I've done it to the T. And I think it's broken. That means I have to do buttonholes the way I used to, which is manually. Which is a bit scary when it's a finished garment. Like, you don't want to mess it up. I feel like this video has just been me talking about like all the different tools I have or have made. These little snippers, they're a lifesaver. They're just little thread things that got off Amazon. They're pretty cheap. And they're just easy to cut threads. And they make a cool noise. Just a little off the top. Should this be an ASMR channel? Comment down below. Buttonholes! Chicken jockey. Ender pearl. So now you get a seam ripper and rip out that middle thread there. It might be too small. I've squeezed it in. Let's just not check in and just smash out all these buttonholes, and I'll come back to you with me wearing it, hopefully. The shirt's finished. I finally did the buttonholes. They're a bit scrappy, but once the button's through them, you can't really tell. It fits wonderfully, particularly for a man of my height. It's hard to find dress shirts that are long enough to tuck in without them immediately falling out of your pants as soon as you lift your arms above your head. So I don't really know how to finish these types of videos. I've never, let's face the light, I've never done these before. Thanks for watching. See you, love you, bye.